So, about 2 months ago, they declared what we call the recession over. Okay? Over, just like that. When about a year ago, they were talking about all this panic that is going to put us in possibly the worst recession in history since the Great Depression. However, all political leaders and economists seem to agree that there's enough catches that have been put in place over the years that it probably couldn't get quite that bad. I guess you never say never, but it probably wouldn't. Well, okay. I take their word for it on that. I don't really know. I'm not an economist. I do know something a lot of political leaders don't seem to know, though. If you spend more than what you generate, you're going to run out of money. I figured that out when I was maybe a teenager and spent my allowance. Came to realize you can't do that. Didn't take a recession to teach me that lesson, but well, what can you do? How can that just be over, though? That at some point people have to spend money, so if there's 2 periods in a row where more is spent than the last time, you're in prosperity, and if not, you're in a recession. The definition's as simple as that. And that just seems, I don't know what the word is, but it doesn't really work for me because, when people don't have money, you're in a recession. When they do, you're not. It's really how it goes, or how it looks to just the average blue collar punch your card in a clock kind of guy, I guess. So what else happens? Oh yes, of course. They said that, I remember about a year ago they said that unless something really, really big happens soon, we're going to be heading into a recession. I remember them saying that. I remember my father saying, when the last one end? The prices of gas, that's something that I've talked about a lot. Cash for clunkers. I don't know. I don't like it. I can't be quite as dramatic as Drinking with Bob. Drinking with Bob's funny. He goes, what's next? I'll tell you what's next. I can't be him. I can't never hold my breath that long to speak it out that quickly, that loudly, and that. But I do agree with him. What he says basically is that when they pay the cash for clunkers, they're going to overpay for clunkers, but they're also going to take marketable used cars off the highway, which is bad. I mean, a 10-year-old car that happens to all be one color and isn't dented in and isn't rusted out, and that's not a clunker, that's a used car. 100,000 miles, that's not that bad anymore. Almost anything people drive anymore is 100,000 miles for several reasons. First of all, people drive more than they used to. Also, almost every car made now is not just a cable going from the transmission to the back of the dashboard. It's electronically fed. Even if it has the standard clock-style odometer, it's usually fed by a vehicle speed sensor that goes from the transmission to the dash, but is sensed by the computer. And as a result, it counts your miles backing up. So, if, I don't know, even 10% of your miles were spent backing up, that would be 10,000 miles in 100,000. Every 100,000 miles would add 10,000 miles. But a car that's 10 years old with 100,000 miles on it, but is dependable and is not falling apart and is not rusted out and is not dinged up and is not held together with spit and glue and not pretty much the laughing stock of a high school parking lot, that's not a clunker. That's an old used car. And that's not what they should be looking to get off the road as far as cash for clunkers go, because that's going to damage the used car market. Some of these people that are getting new jobs and they're in a healing process, they might not be looking at brand new automobiles, but what their government is deeming a clunker isn't really one, and it would be a serviceable car to those people.